Greetings, theists and non-theists. I'm the TheAtheistPaladin. As I figured, I would have to redo my video on issues with God, because a lot of people had a particular issue with that of omnipotence. They saying that the question itself is logically impossible. But it's just simply not the case. It stems from the fact of the definition of omnipotence. And Veritas' reply, he pretty much says the same thing. But after which, he does what I pretty much predict any Christian or theist would do when defining omnipotence, which is to define it as something else. So this is what he says.
You could pick it up. Further, I think this alleged contradiction assumes an incorrect concept of omnipotence. I don't think omnipotence should be understood as just raw creative power that's sort of unlimited in quantity. I think that's a bad way of looking at omnipotence. Omnipotence instead should be looked at as the ability to actualize certain states of affairs. And when we look at omnipotence this way, the idea of a stone that God could not lift describes a logically impossible state of affairs, just like actualizing a square circle or a married bachelor. I mean, God could not create married bachelors or squared circles because those things don't mean anything. You know, just because you can string together particular words doesn't mean you're actually saying something. And so I think we need to be careful not to view omnipotence as simply raw power. And I also think we need to be mindful that traditionally omnipotence has not been the view that God can literally do anything. There have been very...
Okay, I have a partial agreement. Power is to bring about a set of, any set of affairs or certain set of affairs. But you just leave it at a certain set of affairs. It's just not a certain set. It's any and all. That's what omni means. So when you take omni with powerful, that means you can bring about all set of affairs, which means even the logically impossible set of affairs are included. That's why omnipotence sort of it causes this sort of logical contradiction. So it does necessarily follow that that God can do literally anything from the definition of omnipotence. So if there's any circumstance or ability that any individual that has over God, then God is logically not omnipotent. So if I can do something that God cannot, such as lie, then God is not all-powerful. So if God cannot lie, He's not all-powerful. If I have the moral ability to choose evil, then I am more powerful than God. God cannot choose evil. He is perfectly good, apparently. So there are logical contradictions that can be applied in any circumstance when it comes to omnipotence. So as a result, theists are forced to reduce it to something more vague and ambiguous. So God can do a whole lot of things, but what exactly are those things? Where's the limitation? So we have to scrap the definition, or to scrap the word omnipotence, and as a result, if we say there is no God there which is omnipotence, I am correct, because theists have already been forced into this corner of being not able to actually use the word as it means, instead of using it in the actual nominative sense to which it means. Now they are forced to say, oh, it's not logically possible, you're misconstruing it, and so the goalpost is moved. I'm not very impressed by that sort of action.